Toni Morrison is one of the most celebrated authors in American literature. Her books often focus on the lives of Black Americans throughout history in both urban and rural landscapes. She was the first African American woman to win a Nobel Peace Prize in Literature for her novel Beloved in 1993. Today, we will be talking about her book Paradise, published in 1997. Paradise is a story about an all-Black town called Ruby, Oklahoma in 1976. This town was created by formerly enslaved Black people who had been shunned from other Black towns while migrating west. 17 miles away, there is a convent full of women with traumatic histories. The story opens with the men in the town of Ruby deciding to hunt the women down in the convent. Through the intermittent narratives of the people in the town and the convent, Morrison asks important questions. What is paradise, and how is it defined? The dictionary will tell you that a paradise is an idyllic place or state. However, in Morrison's book, paradise is often defined as what it's not, and more importantly, who isn't allowed in it. Both Ruby and the convent are set as paradises for different characters. However, they couldn't be more different. Ruby was a planned utopia for the inhabitants there. However, the residents, especially the men, have an inflated self-narrative that is not consistent with the practices and beliefs of the town. The town falls victim to being dead, as the people focus on their unwavering exceptionalism and stay stuck in the past. They ostracize families and people that they don't deem favorable. Even though the town was created to be safe from racism and unfavorable treatment, race, class, and gender are defining factors that are baked into the foundation. The small town has 3 churches that remain separate due to a checkered past, but only unite under the veil of misogyny to kill the women in the convent. The disallowing haunts the town, and the older folks pass on this generational trauma to the younger folks, further driving them into isolation. Reverend Meisner makes an all-encompassing statement about the town on page 306. They think they have outfoxed the white man, when in fact they imitate him. They think they are protecting their wives and children, when in fact they are maiming them. And when the maimed children ask for help, they look elsewhere for the cause. In contrast, the convent takes in women who have broken and traumatic pasts. The differences in race, class, and sexuality hold little weight to the women there. Morrison opens the novel by saying, they shoot the white girl first, while never identifying which one of the women is white, thus making it inconsequential to this version of paradise. The women there are taught to confront their traumatic past rather than continuously live in them. The men in Ruby describe them as bodacious Black Eves unredeemed by Mary, a statement that puts women in a hierarchy that can divide them under patriarchal control. However, Consolata combats this narrative on page 263, saying, Eve is Mary's mother. Mary is the daughter of Eve. This dismantles that whole hierarchy into an even playing field where women are both Mary and Eve. As mentioned before, paradise is often described by what and who isn't allowed in it. In an interview with Toni Morrison, James Marcus states, our view of paradise is so limited. It requires you to think of yourself as the people chosen by God, that is, which means that your job is to isolate yourself from other people. That is the nature of paradise. It is really defined by who is not there, as well as who is. When you base a paradise on distinction, or further, a certain nationality or identity, there will always be marginalized people who are excluded from it. It becomes like Ruby, so rigid that it does not allow new ideas or beliefs to permeate. When the men attack the women in the convent, it is really a release of anger over the limitations and static lifestyle that they have created in their own town. Morrison uses Ruby as a representation of American exceptionalism for African American discourse. There is a sense that the town's inhabitants think that Ruby is unique and a superior one of a kind. However, towards the ends of the novel, Morrison provides a new kind of paradise through Consolata and Piedad. Instead of saying that paradise is unachievable, she states that paradise can be personal and not attached to a particular nation or identity. It's a place of ordinariness where anyone can be and should not be placed on a pedestal. She explores another version through Reverend Meisner, who believes that humans have to take the initiative in infecting their own lives. Humans should learn respect that is not given through fear. Either way, Morrison's ideas of paradise are holistic, healing, and encompassing of all. This video essay was created by Victoria Greer for her class, 20th Century Black Political Thought, taught by Joshua Myers.